We present Tony Hancock, Sidney James, and Bill Kerr in
Hancock's Half Hour.
And so, I will go to the gallows unrepentant, knowing that I have done what was right. Was done only for the love of my country, my ideals, and the principles I have lived by all my life. And so... and so I go to my death with head held high, proud but not dishonoured.
By heavens, you're a brave man, Sir Giles.
There are others like me, as you will find out. Not quite so brave, possibly, but brave enough.
Giles, I implore thee, give them the names of the others and save your life.
Never. Courage, Ariadne, courage. You would not care to live with a man who betrayed his cause? We will meet again sometime. Somewhere.
Sir Giles Gervais, the executioner awaits.
I'm ready. The blindfold will not be necessary. Lead on, my lord. I go to immortality. Where goest thou?
That went well tonight, didn't it?
Yes, very good. I felt them warming up in the second act. I got them halfway through the torture scene. It was my screams that got them. Hello, the curtain's going up. Right. All old hands in line, heads down for a quick bow.
Oh, I thought you were marvellous tonight, Tone.
Don't call me Tone, there's a good girl. Your Ariadne was coming along better tonight, Heather. Just watch it a bit in the farewell. You were overdoing the sobs tonight, taking the attention right off me, you were.
Oh, I'm sorry, Tone. I just thought it called for it.
Well, it didn't. Hello, it's going up again. Principals forward. Hold hands, heads down. Lash the teeth up to the balcony. Ah, my public, they love me out there tonight. Listen to them, beating the daylight out of their hands there.
Are you going to give them a speech tonight, Tone?
I might, as it's Saturday. Hello, it's going up again. Right, me on my own this time. Up it, you lot. Thank you. Bless you all. Right, all on for another one. Come on, hurry up. One more curtain, it's the record for this place. Donald Wilfrid only got 3 for the Demon Barber. Right, heads down, all step forward. Thank you, you're too kind. Thank you. On behalf of the entire company myself, I should like to thank you for this wonderful reception you've given us tonight. It's always a great thrill to play to such highly receptive, critical, and highly intelligent audiences as one always finds here in Middlesbrough.
Huddersfield!
Yes, of course, Huddersfield. And we all look forward to the day when we will be able to return to the stage of this magnificent theatre of yours, the Alhambra. The Empire, yes, thank you very much. Look after yourselves, have a good weekend, be nice to each other and drive carefully. Farewell, Bolton, Huddersfield.
You put your foot in it again, Tone. Thanks for forgetting which town you're in.
Look, Heather, stop calling me Tone. When I'm doing the straight drama, I'm Anthony. It's bad enough being called Tony. Let's have a little respect for the principal. It isn't right for subsidiary members of the cast to address the principal with diminutives. Wilfrid Hyde-White doesn't allow his bit players to go around calling him Chalky.
Well, I've seen some people get carried away with their own importance. Now, let me tell you, I've been in the business for a few years
yes,
now.
And some of us know how many.
Don't get personal. I've seen some big heads in my day, but if you carry on like this, we'll have to get a bigger rope for the hanging scene.
I don't find that particularly amusing. You're getting vicious, my dear.
Oh, good night.
Right, see you on Monday morning, Scarborough, early.
I'll be there.
Oh, by the way, what are we doing?
The Tale of Two Cities.
Oh, yes, I've got another death scene in that, haven't I? I have my bonds whipped off again. And don't forget, when I'm doing the far, far better thing I do now than I have ever done, I want it to be. Don't cough. You completely killed it at Sunderland the other week.
Oh, all right. Here, coming round to the Chancellor's, have a quick one.
No, not tonight. I'm getting off home to London for the weekend. Have a rest and watch some television, you know. I'll see you Monday morning.
Are you reading, Sid?
Well, that's what I usually have a book up in front of my face for.
Oh. Sid?
What?
What's it like reading?
It's all right. Something to do. Nothing to go mad about.
Well, if you don't like it, why don't you read Tubbs' postcards?
Because I've read them, and they're worse than the book.
Read them for me again, then.
Oh, blimey. All right. Which one do you want to hear?
The one from Grimsby with a picture of the lady fish gutters on the front.
All right. Grimsby. Going like a bomb. Packed every night. The legitimate theatre is the life. No more variety for me. Send a pair of clean socks and see if my new Astrakhan coat is ready.
He's doing well, though, isn't he?
Seems to be. I would never have believed it. Him, a straight actor. A 3 weeks correspondence course in the method who's got him away.
Read the one from Barnsley.
Barnsley. Bigger triumph than Grimsby. Standing room only. Riots at the stage door. A star is born. Feted everywhere. Champagne parties till dawn. P.S. Where are those clean socks?
Well, I'll bet all this will make a difference to him. He'll be mixing with a higher class of people now. He'll probably move into Chelsea with the clever dicks. He's got his reputation to think of now.
I hope he does move. As long as he dibs up my 10%, he can go where he likes.
Ah, what is this I see before me? Two scurvy knaves, perchance, both with their dirty great plates on the table. Come on, get them off.
Tom, I didn't know you were coming home.
Obviously. The place is like a pigsty. I always thought you never cleaned it up when I was away. Who knows, I might have walked in here with Dame Sybil Thorndyke on my arm. Fine impression this would have given her.
Go sit down and have a bottle of beer.
Oh, thank you.
Well, how'd you go last week?
What can I say? Broke the box office records, 4 curtain calls last night, crowds outside the stage.
Yeah, never mind about all that old cod's wallop. How much loot did you come away with?
£15, less me health stamp.
15 nigger, that's 10% of 15, that's 1K5. 30 bob. 30 bob? Is that all I get for the week? 30 bob?
I did the work. You've just been lying here scratching yourself.
I got you the booking. I want more than 30 bob.
What you must realise, Sidney, is that straight actors do not earn the same money as comedians. It's a completely different line of business.
Then go back to the comedy. You were earning hundreds, is that? Get the red nose and the big boots on and get out and earn some loot.
Never. I've finished with professional buffoonery. I'm an actor now. People in this country respect you when you don't get laughs. They tip their hats when they pass you in the street. Morning, sir, they say. Sir. Ah, music. I never got called sir when I was a comic, not once. It was always, aye, big feet, hello, mate.
Well, all comics get that. It's because they like you. They're being familiar, friendly. They like to think they're mates of yours. Don't you want people to be matey with you?
No, I don't. I want respect. I want to be aloof. I want to be considered above it all, unattainable. Like all the knights of the theatre. People don't get matey with them. They don't call Sir Michael Redgrave big feet when he walks down the street. People respect him because they got dignity, you see. I want the old touch of the forelock when I'm being driven down the high street in the back of my landau. I might give him a slight inclination of the head and a few limp hand waves.
Yeah, well, don't be surprised if you get a few limp cabbages, too.
Welcome home, Tub.
Thank you, William.
Nice to see you home again.
Thank you. It's nice to be home.
Have you brought the plug for the television set home with you?
Of course.
Well, can we have it then to put it on?
Certainly. Here it is.
Why do you always have to take that plug with you? Why can't you leave it on the set?
I should think so. I'm not having you wearing out my tube. I know you. It'd be on all day. From the racing at Cheltenham right through to the national anthem. When I go on tour, the plug goes with me.
Oh, which program shall we have it on?
I don't care.
Well, what do you fancy, with or without advertisements?
Yes, well, let's have it, let's have it without advertisements tonight. Australian buffoon. I'm feeling rather cultural. What's on?
BBC, a Western.
Oh, dear. What's on ITA, then?
ITA, a Western.
I'll put the BBC on. It might be a cultural Western.
Right.
I'm a-coming to get you, Wyoming.
Oh, stone me. Turn it over to the other lot.
I'm a-coming to get you, Montana.
Well, which one do you prefer?
Oh, leave it where it is. He rides a better class of horse on this one. Turn the sound up a bit.
Well, you killed him like you said you would, Marshal.
Yep, but I don't feel good about it.
But he was a killer.
He was a man. Don't ever forget that. If the people who are going to come after us are going to build this country of ours into a place where decent folk can live in freedom, they got to see that boys like him get a better chance in life.
He's soft-hearted, you know. He's a fool to himself. They'll get him one day. He never likes killing anybody. 150 he's done him since this program started, and he still hasn't got used to it.
You got to remember, there's good in all of us. You just got to dig down inside a man until you find it.
He's right, you know. He's dead right. He's got his fair share of brains underneath that big hat. There's good in all of us. We could do with more deep thinking like that.
I suppose you're right, Marshal.
Yep. Well, send him up to Boot Hill and let's get on back to Doge.
Then, is it? I want to see you play that part. Very good. Oh, here it comes. Marshall played by June. No, that was a girl. Tell me they're whipping the credits up quickly. Oh, I've missed them all. Make-up fight. Well, who cares who made them up? Honestly, why don't they slow down the credits? You see the list of characters? You look along with the dots to see who it was, and he's gone.
Hey, look, the advertisements are starting.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Hello. There's that bird sitting in the bath covered with soap. She's a lovely girl. She'll be coming in the dance hall in a minute, 2 hours later. There you are. Look, there she is. Oh, done up to the nines. There's the bloke who dances with her. He's a drip, that one. I don't know what she sees in him. I wouldn't waste a bar of soap on him. Hello. Hello, here's a cartoon one. Oh, it's him. Oh, yes, me on the floor, that little bloke. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. The way he walks up the side of those buildings. Oh, dear. They all have more of these, you know. He's a guy. Hello, here's another one. Can't see him doing adverts. I wouldn't go on an advert. Takes away all your dignity.
Why don't you stop rabbiting on about dignity?
Well, it does. How can one retain one's dignity blabbing on about frozen peas?
Will you keep quiet? I never heard one word that man said.
I'm just surprised at actors of his standing doing things like that. Hello, another cartoon. Hey, this is a new one. I haven't seen this one before. What's it advertising?
Cornflakes.
Oh, yeah, he's holding them up so we can see what the cutout is. Ooh, a cardboard fort and a red Indian. That's worth having. He'll be telling us how good they are now and how we're taking chances with our health, not eating them. Here he goes.
Here you are, then. This is stuff for you lot. Harper's cornflakes. Get a plate for this down you and you won't know what hit you. He's jumping about all over the place.
Why don't you shut up? I'm trying to listen to this bloke talking.
It's not me. It's him on the screen. I haven't said a word.
Him? Get away. It was you.
It wasn't, I tell you. It was him. Listen.
Don't forget, then, every breakfast time, Eyes down for a plateful of Harpers.
Stone me, I've been impersonated.
Harpers, stone me, you'll love 'em.
What a liberty, it's a dead ringer for me. He's impersonating me.
Now, why don't you buy a packet and make your breakfast time a real Harper's half hour?
Harper's half hour, did you hear that? How dare they do this to me? I've never been so impersonated in all my life. Switch it off. Well, what a sauce.
Now, come on, be honest. You've been making adverts on the side, haven't you? All this stuff about dignity. You have been making yourself a few bob on the cornflakes without telling us, trying to do me out of my 10%.
I tell you, I don't know anything about it. I wouldn't lend my name to a thing like that.
Your name wasn't mentioned. It was just your voice. Hoping I wouldn't know it was you.
It wasn't me.
How much money did you get for it?
I didn't get any money for it.
What do they pay in cornflakes?
For the last time, it's nothing to do with me. It's somebody impersonating me.
Ah, well, it doesn't make any difference.
It makes a lot of difference. I wouldn't mind so much if they were good cornflakes. I've tried those things. They're terrible. No noise at all when you pour the milk on. No, it's complete silence. Not a peep out of them. Just lie there and soak it up. I take a very serious view of this. Nobody asked my permission. Could well make me the laughing stock of the entire theatre. I'll take all my dignity away from me.
Of course it won't. Nobody will realise it's you.
It's not me.
Well, they won't realise it sounds like you.
Well, we'll see. I'm at Scarborough next week. We'll soon see what the public reaction is. Marguerite, it's you. They let you come to the prison to see me.
Oh, my darling. What have they done to you?
Courage, Marguerite, courage. You've been good to me. What can I do? What can I give you to show my appreciation for your devotion?
Give her a packet of Harpers.
Yes. Oh, Marguerite, I don't know where to find the strength to face the execution hut.
Have a spoonful of Harpers.
Do you mind, please? Give the artist a fair hearing, please. 'Tis a far, far better thing I do now than I have ever done.
Well, it's certainly better than that advertisement.
Oh, this is ridiculous. Curtain, bring down the curtain. I knew it. I knew this would happen. Ruined the whole performance they did.
And what about me? You ought to know better. A man in your position stopping to make catty adverts. Haven't you got any artistic integrity?
Have a care, madam. You're talking to the star. Dame Edith Evans has been after your part, you know.
Oh, well. She can have it. I've never been so humiliated in all my life. Harper's cornflakes.
Well, it was nothing to do with me.
Well, here comes the manager. I bet he'll have something to say to you.
All right, Hancock. Here's your money. I'm paying you off.
I beg your pardon?
You heard. I run a straight theatre here. My regular patrons have been complaining.
But I didn't do the advert.
It was your voice. That's good enough for me.
Ruined. A brilliant career struck down by a packet of cornflakes. Well, we'll see about this. I shall sue for damages.
Court will rise. Case number 12 on the list. Hancock versus Harper's Cornflakes. Mr. Justice Spooner presiding.
Continue.
The plaintiff is suing the defendants for damages suffered to his professional reputation and loss of subsequent earnings due to an alleged impersonation of his voice in a television advertisement.
I see. Well, who's going to start?
May we have the case for the plaintiff, please?
My lord, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, my client is a world-famous celebrity.
I've never heard of him.
Well, he's quite well known. His case in a nutshell is that the defendants used an impression of his voice without his knowledge or permission, and it has made him the laughing stock of his profession and has resulted in loss of engagements and a considerable amount of money. He is claiming copyright on his obscene.
I beg your pardon?
His obscene choice, his voice.
Would you please confine yourself to expressions in common usage?
Well, it's in usage down our way, mate. I don't know where you live.
My place of residence is no concern of this court. Besides, I'm certainly not killing a man of your record where I live. Continue.
Yes, sir. I call William Billabong Kerr.
Do you think that's wise?
Call William Billabong Kerr.
Is your name William Billabong Kerr?
Yes, known professionally as Billo the Performing Man. I do a dog act, and he just sits there and barks, and I do all the tricks.
We are not interested in your profession. Get on with it.
Mr. Kerr, will you tell the court, in my own words, what happened to 23 railway cuttings on the 25th last?
You and me got drunk.
Before that.
We opened the bottle.
No, before that.
Oh, we went and bought it.
I'm not talking about the booze up, son. What happened while we were watching television?
Oh, yeah. Well, Mr. Hancock came home after a hard day at the theatre and told us how well he'd done and what a big name he was now. Whereupon, we switched on the telly and we were confronted by a Western. So we turned over and we were confronted by another Western, which was just as good. Stroke bad. After which, we were entertained by commercials, one of which was a little bloke who burst his way through a packet of cornflakes and told us how good they were in Mr. Hancock's voice.
Are you sure it was Mr. Hancock's voice?
Oh, yes, I thought it was him at first.
How did you know that it was not Mr. Hancock?
Well, it couldn't have been. He's too big to come out of a cornflake packet.
I mean the voice. How did you know it was not Mr. Hancock's voice?
Because I was sitting next to him and I watched him, and his lips didn't move once while the little bloke was talking.
It could have been a record of Mr. Hancock's voice?
I refuse to answer that question on the grounds that I might incriminate myself.
Step down, you ratbag. I will now proceed to prove that the voice was not Mr. Hancock's own voice, but a deliberate impersonation. Call Anthony Hancock.
Call Anthony Hancock.
Are you Anthony Hancock?
I am.
Did you at any time ever lend your voice to a cornflake advert?
Never.
Did you ever agree to let anyone else impersonate you for the purposes of making a cornflake advert?
Again, I must reply never.
And would you say that the voice on that advert was similar to yours?
Similar? A dead ringer, your worship. And as a dead ringer, I was amazed. Flabbergasted is more the word. 100% 22-carat flabbergasted. Well, if anyone hadn't known different, they would have thought it was me.
And thousands of people have subsequently thought that it was, in fact, you that done it.
I should say so. It's been a source of great embarrassment to me ever since.
Would you tell the court, please, just how this vulgar impersonation has affected your theatrical career?
Do I have to?
I think the court ought to know.
Very well. It's a tale of the utmost woe. Humiliation has been heaped on me. I've been ridiculed from all parts of the house. Prices of the seats has been no barrier. I have been chi-iked from the balcony, from the dress circle, and from the stalls. And last week, the final indignity. Chi-iked from the raspberry mousse and drink on the stick girls. To continue, at Newcastle on Tyne, in my rendition of Hamlet, halfway through the ghost scene when I was reeling back saying, "What is this I see before me?" There came from the back of the stalls a distinct cry, "A bowl of Harper's, mate!" In Nanook of the North. Even the stage hand started taking the mickey. I opened the door of my igloo in the frozen north and walked straight out into a cornflake storm.
Tell me, Mr. Hancock, what has been the effect on your future engagements?
All cancelled. 15 managements have cancelled my booking, at a person lost to me of earnings amounting to no less than 73 quid.
But you're asking for £100,000.
Well, they can afford it. I read the papers. Stone me, you can get 50,000 for being hit on the head and not being able to smell your dinner.
Your worship, what my client means is that his star was in the ascendancy. Who knows what gigantic fees I could have been screwing them for now. That will be all, Mr. Hancock. You may stand down.
Thank you very much, and I'd like to place on record my appreciation for you up on the bench. Yes, you, the one with the wig on. You've been most helpful. I know you're going to do your best for me, and if I do all right, you're on a pint of cider in the Law Court Arms afterwards. I can't say fairer than that.
Would you step down, please, and keep quiet?
Oh, yes, of course.
I will now call the villain of the piece, the man who was responsible for the impersonation of Mr. Hancock's voice. Call Arthur Plowright.
Call Arthur Plowright.
You are Arthur Plowright of no fixed abode?
I am.
And what is your speciality?
I'm an impressionist.
Were you the man who was employed to provide the voice on the Arthur's Cornflake advert?
That's right.
Did you or did you not make a conscious attempt to impersonate my client?
No.
Will you demonstrate to the court, please, the voice you used for the advert in question? Read this phrase in that same voice.
Good evening, and welcome to Hancock's Half Hour.
It's me. You all heard him. That's me. Come on, where's the money?
Be quiet. Sit down. I wish to hear a comparison of the two voices. The plaintiff will step up next to Mr. Plowright. You will both hold a conversation with each other. You, Mr. Plowright, using the voice in the advert. Go.
Ah, dare you use my voice.
I am not using your voice.
Yes, you are. You're doing it now.
I am not. It's the voice I invented.
It is ridiculous. It's like looking in a mirror. That is my voice.
It's a coincidence. I've never even heard of you.
Tell me, he's cheeky as well.
Are you asking for a punch up the bracket?
You heard him. That's mine. Punch up the bracket. I always use that. It's up at the Lord Chamberlain's with my name on it. Patented, that is. All right, say this.
Hancock's Half Hour. Hancock's Half Hour.
150,000. I put my price up. It's an open and shut case. I demand justice.
Well, you won, Tub.
And quite right, too. What a liberty.
Pity about the damages. That's a big drop, you know, from 150,000 to 73 quid.
Still, I proved my point. That's the main thing. And they've put in an injunction against him. He can't use my voice on any more cornflake adverts. I've got my dignity back, if nothing else.
And that's all you have got.
Well, my acting career is finished, I know, but I've still got my radio show.
You have not.
Pardon?
A bloke from the BBC was in court. He thought the other bloke sounded more like you than you do. So he's fired you and booked him instead.
They can't do that. How can you have Hancock's Half Hour with no Hancock?
Nobody's going to know the difference.
Well, I will. I'll be out of work.
No, you won't, boy. I got a booking for you.
Doing what?
The voice for some more cornflake adverts. $5 a week in it for you.
But this Arthur Plowright will be making much more than that doing my job. I'm starting at the bottom again.
Well, it's your own fault. You shouldn't have sued him in the first place.
But you're my agent.
Oh, no, I'm not. I'm his agent now. Tell her. All the best, mate.
Well, of all the dirty tricks.
Well, what are you going to do now, Tub?
Brush up on my impressions for these adverts. If he can get on by being sued, so can I. Here you are, Edward Everett Horton. Oh, oh dear. Oh. Cornflakes. No, that's no good. That's no good at all. Charles Lawton. Mr. Christian, bring me some harpers and I'll have you strung up from the highest yard arm of the British Navy. No, Robert Newton. Ah, Jim Ladd. Here's your cornflakes, lad. Ha ha, ha. That was Hancock's Half Hour, starring Tony Hancock, with Sidney James, Bill Kerr, Anne Lancaster, Peter Goodwright, Ronald Wilson, Jerry Stovin, Wilfrid Babbage, and Jack Watson. Theme and incidental music composed and conducted by Wally Stott. Alan Simpson and Ray Galton wrote the script, and the production, which was recorded, was by Tom Ronald.
We present Tony Hancock, Sidney James, and Bill Kerr in...
Hancock's half hour.
Sid, Bill, I want a word with you two. What are you laughing at?
Oh, Blobby, what does he look like?
I fail to see any cause for undue hilarity.
You understand what I am. If you're wearing those clothes for the bet, you won. Oh, Blobby, what a twit you look.
I don't know what you mean. If you're referring to my slightly unconventional mode of dress, I'll admit it must seem a little different to you bourgeoisie, but to we bohemians it's quite normal, everyday, run-of-the-mill clobber.
Oh, you're not going out in the street like that, are you?
Well, I see no reason why I shouldn't. As it happens, I'm not going to, but I see no reason why I shouldn't.
Well, I'm not going out with you like that.
I can't understand what all the fuss is about. Nothing out of the ordinary in this lot. Blue and white striped stocking cap, home-woven vegetable fibre shirts, canvas trousers, and fisherman rope sandals. Not exactly shipping Clark gear, I admit. But nevertheless indicative of my new state of mind. My friends and I are rebelling against conformity.
What do they wear?
Well, the same as this, of course. We're the avant-garde of the new culture. We are dedicated to setting up a new order of things, determined to establish a new set of values, to break away from the bonds that threaten to stifle the cultural and creative activities of man's mind.
Oh, blimey, another load of layabouts.
We are not layabouts. We are artists, mush. Writers, poets, thinkers, all men who are seriously perturbed about the state of the world at the moment.
And what are you lot going to do about it?
We are going to show the world the real truth by setting them an example, developing our superior intellects. Culture, mate. That's where the hope of the world lies. And a more cultural mob than us you wouldn't find outside the Chelsea embankment. 27 throbbing intellects, raring to go.
Can I join?
No, you can't. This isn't a ping-pong and darts club. This is a group with lofty ideals, a cultural and discussion group dedicated to the betterment of mankind.
Well, why can't he join then? He's mankind.
Well, loosely, yes. Only up to a point. He's not far enough advanced for us.
You said it was for the betterment of mankind?
Yes, but stone me, you've got to have something to start on. Look at him, you can't expect us to go that far back. You're only interested in modern-shaped people.
All right. What exactly does this mob do?
Well, we meet every night down the coffee bar and we chat.
I haven't seen you.
Not the one you go to. Oh, no, not El Castanetto. That's bourgeois, that is. We go to the one done up like a graveyard. We sit on the old cardboard tombstones round the plastic coffins and we indulge in philosophical analysis. We formulate our plans for our brave new world. Gladys takes it down in a notebook. And when she's filled it up, we're going to publish it. We're calling it A Thesis on the Reconciliation of Homo sapiens in Relationship with His Natural Destiny and the Theory of Selective Evolution.
Yeah, sounds marvellous. They'd probably make a film of it.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea. A musical. I can just see it. When you've got Homo sapiens and selective evolution. La-dee-da-dee.
Are you taking the mickey?
Well, I ask you, what a load of old rubbish you talk sometimes.
I wouldn't expect you to understand the outlook with an intellectual like me. I mean, let's face it, you've never been one for new movements, have you? You've always been complacent, haven't you? You're not particularly bothered about the impending stagnation of Western civilization, are you?
No, not really. As long as my horses don't stagnate, I don't care what happens.
Exactly. The struggle of the human race is nothing compared with your struggle up to the two-bob window at Cheltenham, is it?
No, it's not.
Exactly. Reactionary you are. Dead reactionary. You epitomise the very people the East Cheam Cultural Progressive Society are fighting.
Who?
The East Cheam Cultural Progressive Society, that's us. The ECCPS. Or the Ekpers, as we are known locally.
Well, really, when you add it all up, it's a bit tatty, isn't it?
Tatty? We're the hope of the world, mate.
What else do you do?
Well, during the day we pursue our various artistic sidelines. Some of us make pots and jugs. And then there's Adelaide. She's very good on the raffia mats. And of course... Then there's Percy and his Welsh bedspreads. And some of us paint and sculpt. And the rest of us lie in bed thinking.
You, of course, are one of the liars in bed thinking.
We must all do what is best suited to us. You see, Sidney, we are a collection of kindred spirits who are all revolting against the establishment.
How long have you been at it?
3 days. I was lost like you two. A useless vacuum, wandering in the wilderness of futility. No purpose in life. Then it happened. Last Thursday night it was. I heard a group talking in the coffee bar. It was like opening a new door. Everything seemed to suddenly fall into place. These are the people I'd been looking for, I thought. And I asked if I could join them. They weren't keen at first. They weren't sure if my intellect was of a sufficiently high standard. But I bought them a cup of coffee all round and they let me join.
All right, then. Now, let's be honest. We know why you joined. You fancied the sandals, didn't you?
My dress is merely a symbol of my hatred of convention.
Chub, can I borrow your razor?
You can keep it. I won't be needing it anymore. I'm growing a beard.
Oh, blimey. And, of course, you're letting your hair grow long.
1 inch below the shoulders, regulation length. Unless you're a female, then you can have whatever length you like. Most of them have crew cuts.
Hey, please let me join, Chub. I'll grow a beard and let me hair grow long. I'll provide my own sandals and shirt, and you won't have to buy them for me. Well, I don't expect to be allowed to join in the intellectual discussions. I'll be the caretaker. I'll be the man who looks after the shed for you while you're making your pots.
No.
I'll comb your beards for you.
No. We don't want you. We'd be conscious of you.
Well, I wouldn't make any noise.
We'd know you were there. It'd put us right off our contemplating. How could we concentrate on reshaping the world with you sitting there scratching your head? I'm sorry, both of you would be completely out of place, which is why I want you out of here by 7 o'clock. What for? Well, it's Thursday night.
Well?
Thursday night, it's our poetry reading classes.
Oh, no. You're not having that bunch of scruff bags round here.
May I remind you this is my house. I shall invite just who I like. And if you don't approve, you can load your horse and cart and leave.
Why can't I hold it round one of their houses?
Because I'm the only one in the group who's got a house.
Haven't got houses. Where do they live?
Well, 10 of them live in a basement under the pet shop. And 7 live on a boat on the canal. And the other 15 of them live with them.
Don't they do any work?
Oh, please, Sidney, work. Work is the biggest restrictor of men's minds. Can't allow themselves to be hampered by the menial, soul-destroying labour of everyday jobs. Work to them represents the establishment, and they're against that.
Well, what do they live on, then?
National assistance.
Oh. They're not against that part of the establishment, then.
Don't you ever understand?
Well, who's providing the food and drink for the poetry reading classes?
Well, I am, of course.
Oh, they got no objections to you going out to work and owning a house and having money, then?
Well, the question has been raised. My having money is a bit of embarrassment to their aims, really, but they suggested I get rid of it.
Well, they're doing their best to help you. Open the door. The outsiders are outside. Well, I'm off, and I'm taking my bottle of brown ale out of the sideboard. I'm not letting any outsiders get outside of that.
No, don't go. I'd like you to stay. I'd like you to listen to the poetry reading. It might convince you that these people have a great talent to offer the world.
Yeah, let's stay, Sid. It might be a giggle.
Ah, welcome, brethren. Come in. Welcome to my home.
Oh, Anthony, dear boy. So this is where you live?
Yes. Do you like it, Gregory?
Oh, yes. Yes, I think I do. I'm definitely getting turquoise vibrations.
What's he talking about?
I don't know.
The vibrations. The house is giving off definite vibrations.
That's the trains going by.
Who are these persons?
They're friends of mine, Gregory. There's Sidney James here, William Kerr. This is the leader of our group, Gregory.
Gregory what?
Just Gregory. We never use surnames in our group. They're very bourgeois. I suppose you'll be leaving shortly.
Well, actually, no. I've asked them to stop for the poetry reading. They live here with me, you see.
Good heavens. Still, I suppose it's quite an interesting experiment, actually living with these people.
He's getting up my nose, this bloke.
I suppose you sort of watch them and make notes.
Well,
You're working on a thesis on the mental workings of the lower order of the species.
Oh, dear. He's going to get my fist right through that beard in a minute.
Sid, please, no punch-ups, not yet. He doesn't mean anything. He's the most advanced member of the group. I mean, he thinks Bertrand Russell's a bit of a Charlie. You can't blame him for not reckoning you. Come and meet the other members. This is Greta.
How do you do?
Oh, my word. I've seen some birds of mine. Look at that. All lank hair and wooden beads. How do you do? I'm pleased to make your acquaintance.
Hiya, doll. How about you and me whizzing down to the pub? There's a piano down there. It's talent night tonight in the saloon bar. Are you musical?
I can only tolerate Bartok and Weber.
Well, that's all right. Sing a couple of their songs. The lads won't mind.
What an intriguing little savage you are.
Bill, come away. I must apologize, Greta. He's not one of us. He's very suburban in his musical taste. He doesn't appreciate the finer points of classical music like we Gilbert and Sullivan fans. By the way, dear, I know it's against all group ethics to consider such things important, but I must say I like your turnout tonight.
Oh, thank you. Do you really?
Oh, yes, very individual. The elongated eyebrows touching the ear rolls certainly gets me going. And the blue lipstick sets it off marvellously. I think without a doubt you're the weirdest looking one here tonight.
Oh, that's very kind of you. I do my best.
Well, shall we start? We've got many important new works to read.
By all means, I'll get some chairs.
But they won't be necessary. I mean, we don't use chairs. Chairs are a symbol of unproductive work, the furnishings of a decadent society.
Of course, I hadn't realized. Bill, take the chairs out and burn them, horrible suburban bric-a-brac. Well, then, what do we do then? Stand around?
My dear fellow, haven't you read your handbook? I mean, it definitely states that cultural meetings of the group, such as poetry reading, the members shall adopt postures in keeping with the intellect of the individual without sacrificing the mood of the work. We are thus irrevocably united as a group in relationship to the poem being read.
I see. Well, you start, and I'll sort of stand loosely about so I can sort of slide into something as soon as it comes over me, you know.
Yes, well, we'll commence with a work by myself. I have entitled it Tin Can.
Tin Can? Tin Can. Yes, let's see. I think I'll lean up against the fireplace with one arm up, suggesting the lid's been opened.
Oh, blimey, look at him.
Quiet, please. Quiet, please, everyone. I can't get in the mood with talking going on, can I? Right. Tin Can by Gregory. Splish, splash, splonk. Wooden shoes, red socks. Coffins, tombstones, and tranquilizers.
Very good. Very significant.
I hadn't finished, had I?
Oh, I'm very sorry.
Aspirins and driving tests, jet planes and skeletons, frog singing to egg timer, calendars and candles upside down, plastic apples on coconut trees. Splish, splash, splonk.
Is that it?
Yes, that is it.
They're marvellous. Wish I could write like that. Are you all right? By Jove, you look washed out there.
Well, it's just the emotional strain of reading it. You see, the vibrations sap my energy.
Yes, I know. It is a pity we burnt the chairs. We could have had a nice sit down.
Did you like the poem?
Like it? It was sensational. What an emotional experience. I haven't heard anything like that since the road to Mandalay. Who's next?
Rupert.
Oh, we haven't got another one. Bill, let's get the booze out.
Do you mind? If you can't appreciate the delicacy of the works, you might at least have the courtesy to keep your cake hole closed. Bill? What are you doing?
I've adopted a pose in readiness for the next one.
Very funny. Now, come out the sideboard before I clout you one. Right, now, carry on, Rupert.
My piece is rather more spiritual. It's an outcry from the soul of my grandfather.
This poem I'm sending to UNESCO for translation into 84 different languages. But for the purposes of this reading, I shall render it in the original English.
If it's anything like the other one, it won't really matter.
Do we have to have this troglodyte here?
What does he mean?
Hit him, Sid.
No, don't, please. This is my first at-home evening. Don't spoil it, please.
Punch his nose in.
I'll punch yours in if you don't keep quiet. This is a cultural evening. We're having no bounce-ups in here.
Oh, for goodness sake, be quiet. All this quarrelling is interfering with my perceptive aura.
You see, you've upset Greta now. Her perceptive aura's gone for a burp. Can be very nasty, too, that can. Now, keep quiet and listen to Rupert.
I've called this poem Blank Details.
Ah, yes. Blank Details, yes. Let's see now. I feel a sort of purple mood coming over me. I think for this I shall sit cross-legged on the floor, yogi style, with one foot tucked behind my neck. Hang on a minute. Hang on a sec. Right. I'm in. Proceed.
Blank Detail by Rupert. Straw in the wind. 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 Fly, fly, fly.
Marvellous.
Can I read my poem now?
Pardon?
I've just written a poem. Can I read it?
I somehow don't think the sort of poems you write will be suitable for this gathering. We are not interested in young ladies from various parts of the country.
Oh, no. I've written an abstract poem.
Oh, don't be ridiculous. One has to be sympathetic with the symbolism of existence to turn out that sort of stuff. Get back on the sideboard.
Oh, no, let's hear what the little savage has written. It might provide some light relief after the intensity of the last two offerings.
Oh, very well. Make it quick and keep it clean.
Thank you. Incandescence by William. Hick, hack, hawk. Rinky tinky on purple grass. Shafts of light. Hobnailed boots tramping down the bamboo that grows upwards, downwards, sideways into the concrete cosmos. Life is mauve. I am orange. Hick, hack, hawk.
What a load of rubbish. You buffoon. Rinky-tinky on purple grass. What does that mean? You're orange and life is mauve. I have never heard such unadulterated codswallop in my life. Get back in the sideboard this minute.
How dare you speak to a genius like that? I'll never be able to write such masterpieces as that.
But he's a dolt. He can't do anything.
Can't do anything? In a few brilliantly conceived lines, he summed up the human capacity for suffering and his struggle for survival.
Oh, come now, Gregory. Surely it was empty, devoid of any symbolism. You made a mistake. He fooled you for a moment. Analyze it. Bamboo. Hobnail boots. Well, it doesn't mean anything to me, mate. My order of perception didn't even wobble. Greta, what do you think?
Well, it was like a revelation. It transported me to another plane. For the first time, I saw the fifth dimension, like a golden flash cleaving the skies. I was transported to the heights of delirium.
See what you've done now? She's off. Why don't you keep quiet when there's ladies present?
Life is mauve. I am orange. It says everything. I suggest we call it the last poem. There's nothing left to write about now. How do you do it?
Oh, well, I didn't think it was that good. It wasn't one of me best.
Oh, this man. What an intellect. He's passed through the gates of perception, and he says it wasn't one of his best. Would you do us the honor of taking over the leadership of our group?
Oh, this is madness. Look, I've written a poem.
I am talking to the master.
Don't make any hasty decisions. Listen to mine. Listen. The Ashtray by Anthony. Steel rods of reason through my head. Salmon jumping where jump I. Camels on fire and spotted clouds. Striped horses prance the meadow wild and rush on to drink at life's fountains deep. Life is cream. I am puce. Ching chang chola.
How dare you revile the group with such shallow, trivial nonsense?
It was as good as his. What's the matter with you? It's too deep for you, that's the trouble.
Well, what does it mean?
What does it mean? Well, I should have thought that was obvious. It's a plea for the... Well, no, it's more of an outcry against the... It's an outcry against the licensing laws. Oh, no. Let's split it up a bit. Now then. You take, for a start, the camels on fire under the spotted clouds. Now, there's a provocative line, if ever I've heard one. In that, I've summed up the whole situation in the Gobi Desert. And life's fountains deep. Well, it's a plea for more water holes. That's why the camels are on fire. They're gasping. They haven't had a drop to drink since they left Kabul. It's a very long trip, Kabul.
And Ching Chang Chola?
Well, they're the drivers. You won't get any change out of them. They couldn't care less. As long as they got their striped horses, they're quite happy. Well, ask him to explain his then. Go on, see what rubbish he comes out with.
There's no need to ask him. The words speak for themselves in every throbbing line. William is telling us that life is a fraud, that we are merely insects existing on the tail of a turtle.
Did you tell him that?
Well, you heard the poem. I thought it would have been obvious.
Oh, don't listen to him. He's having you on. Can't make a nitwit like him leader of the group. Sid, of course. Sid, my only ally. Now the truth will come out. Go on, Sid, expose him. Tell him what a poltroon he is. Who? Well, him, the witless wonder here. Hurry up, tell him before they have the laurel wreath on his head.
What, him, William? The greatest intellect ever to come out of Australia? A legend, this boy at 13. The wandering Einstein of Queensland, they called him.
What are you hoping to get out of this?
Yes, but of course this only confirms what his work has already told us. I mean, he's obviously a man of extreme literacy and learning. A worthy successor to me. All in favour, say aye.
Aye.
I, Gregory, hereby relinquish leadership of our group and invest you, William, with all the powers, titles and privileges that go with it.
Titles and privileges. So that's what you're up to, Mr. James. You've been sitting there reading the rule book. Show me that. The leader of the group receives some levies from the other members a remuneration of no less than £500 per year, so that he may be exempted from the need to work and may spend all his time on contemplation and intellectual pursuits. 500 a year. Is this right, Gregory?
Oh, yes. And his lieutenant gets 350.
Who's his lieutenant?
It says here, the leader has the privilege of choosing his own lieutenant.
At 350 a year?
Yes.
And that's what you're after? Well, you've had that, because it also says here that the leader can only choose for his lieutenant a man who has proved his intellectual qualifications by having produced an original cultural piece of work.
Exactly. I shall now read an abstract poem which I just happen to have written. Limbo by Sidney.
Oh, this is getting farcical. I should have this job.
Quiet, please, everyone. Sidney's going to read to us.
Limbo by Sidney. Mauve world, green me. Black him, purple her. Yellow us, pink you.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Lead pipes, fortune made. 6 to 4, coming second. Green country, blue Haringey and white city, hick Hancock.
I can't take any more. All this sensuous excitement in one evening. What an experience to hear such beauty, such translucent symbolism. How you must know life, Sidney.
Oh, I do, boy.
How you must have suffered to produce work like that.
Suffered? There's been murder sometimes.
I say, we must have Sidney as our leader's lieutenant.
You don't know what you're saying. He's a fake. He's only after the loot. Why, before you came in, he was saying what a load of idiots you are.
We are idiots compared with him.
Sidney. Sidney, I feel the vibrations between us growing stronger and stronger. Some red, some yellow.
All right, Aloysius. We'll sort them out later, eh?
Sidney, will you do us the honour of becoming our second in command?
Certainly, boy. Be a pleasure.
Wait, he's taking you on. It's the cider you've been drinking. It's inflamed your senses. Look, I've written another poem. It's better than his. Jake was a coward, a great big fellow with a turned-up nose. Will you get out? It's a funny old world we live in, but the world's not entirely to blame. It's the rich what gets the pleasure and the poor what gets the blame.
Sling him out. He's a troglodyte.
Yes, throw him out, everyone.
It's my house. You can't throw me out. It's my house. Here you are. Then here's one. The highwayman. He wore a French cocked on his forehead and a bunch of lace at his chin. And the highwayman came riding with his whiskers soaked in gin. No? All right, here you are then.
Swing him out of
No, put me down. I'll have the law on you. Lay about. Get back to work. Useless members of society, parasites. There's a green-eyed, yellow-eyed to the south of Kathmandu. A little wooden cross above the town. Let me in. I'm still a member. There's a little old log cabin across the Great Divide. We're living the grizzled old prospector by the name of Andy Clyde. What about our aims for improving the world? It was pouring with snow on the equator and the icebergs are melting fast. I can't be bothered with him. I'll go down to the coffee house. There's bound to be another movement started up since yesterday. I'll start one of my own. How did that poem of Sid's go now? Mauve world, green me, black him, purple her. That's it. That'll get 'em. A breakaway group. We'll be anti-everything. The new intellectual movement to shake the world. Or shall I go to the pictures? Yes, I might as well. I think that's more my hammer, really. Cab?
That was Hancock's Half Hour, starring Tony Hancock with Sidney James, Bill Kerr, Fenella Fielding, Fraser Kerr, and Warren Mitchell. Theme and incidental music composed and conducted by Wally Stott. Alan Simpson and Ray Galton wrote the script, and the program which was recorded was produced by Tom Ronald.